All right, so don't get me wrong. Sometimes Netflix does have some bangers, but besides that, it has this dark energy that you can feel like when you log into it. And most of the shows that you have to choose from when you're on Netflix, like in the first 5 or 10 minutes, you're gonna see somebody get unalived, or you're gonna have some heavy, like, sexual scenes. And if you have children watching Netflix, make sure that you are paying attention to what they're watching, because most of these shows speak to the subconscious mind, and it's a lot of subconscious mind control that happens in these children programming. And let's just take a brief look at why. Okay, so you know anything about psychology, you know Sigmund Freud, right? Sigmund Freud is the person who came up with the term the ego and the superego, right? And this is his book, The Ego and the ID. You see, Sigmund Freud believed that your psyche is developed by your early childhood experiences, that you come into this life as a blank slate. And that's also known as tabula rasa. Is the idea of individuals being born empty of any built-in mental content, so that all knowledge comes from later perceptions or sensory experiences. So Freud's theory also proposes that the psyche comprises three aspects: the ID, the ego, and the superego. The ID is entirely unconscious, while the ego operates in the conscious mind. The superego operates both unconsciously and consciously. Now, I personally don't subscribe to this belief. I believe, or I intuitively know, that you come into this life with soul memories, like of past life experiences. Now, I believe that people experience childhood traumas when they're younger, and that does add to their personality, but it doesn't compose all of who they are. So Sigmund Freud had a nephew, Edward Bernays, and Edward Bernays wrote this book about propaganda, the public mind in the making. This book is pretty much how to influence people, how to persuade people to do what you want them to do. This is why commercials are so popular. You know the term, it's finger licking good? Yeah, that comes from Edward Bernays' mind. Edward Louis Bernays was an American theorist considered a pioneer in the field of public relations and propaganda, and referred to in his obituary as the father of public relations. So the entire field of PR, when you go to school, when you get your degree in PR, that comes from the mind of Edward Louis Bernays. In PR, public relations and propaganda is selling, how to influence the human mind to do what you want it to do. This is him. I ain't gonna lie, it's a nice stash. Now, this is Edward Bernays' great nephew, Mark Bernays Randolph. He's the co-founder and the first CEO of Netflix. So you could say his legacy of propaganda lives on today. Now you can chill.